Southwest Topeka has a good neighbor. State Farm agent Jim Garrison, now at 29th and Urish. If your current insurance situation has you going around in circles, get off the roundabout and stop in and meet Jim and his wonderfully efficient staff. Let Jim Garrison give you a quote and make the Garrison comparison. He's confident that with State Farm's competitive rates, the right coverage, and his unmatched service, you'll want to make him your new insurance agent. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and Jim Garrison is there for you, northeast of the roundabout at 29th and Urish.
When someone has a passion for what they do, it comes through in the product they provide their customers. Just ask LaRocco's Pizza's new owner, Jason Johnson, about their crust. They make it every day and let it rise for a minimum of 24 hours before they use it for their pizza. And his staff doesn't want to do anything they won't be the best at, and you can taste it in their pizza. LaRocco's Pizza, just a half block north of the I-470 and Gage Boulevard exit. Come taste the difference.
It's time for Real Estate 101 with the Carrie Brown team from Preferred Advisors.
Good Saturday morning to you. This is Carrie Brown, Associate Broker with eXp Realty and the Preferred Advisors team. You're listening to Real Estate 101. I am back with my co-host for the month, Tammy Theissen of Theissen Design Co. and New Construction Now. Good morning, Tammy.
Good morning.
So that was a big announcement last week that you guys are doing new construction.
Yes, we are so excited, and it felt really fun to get to talk about it with all of you.
I think it's a really cool concept because you get the whole thing and you're actually designing things around the design. I think that it would feel like a finished project to me.
Yes, yeah, that's what we're really, really excited about. These homeowners that are moving in and everything's done and planned and ready for them from the start all the way to the furnishings and the window treatments. And, you know, hopefully they're just having, you know, to explain that vision once to us, and then we can make it happen for them on all of those fronts. And maybe make that build process just feel less overwhelming.
I think that's great. It makes me actually, and I've always said that there's no way my marriage would survive building new construction because we both have such completely opposite taste. So for us to agree is just like, it takes 11 years. That's how long it took us to put kitchen countertops in. And our countertops were ugly.
You know, you guys it's very rare that couples come to me and they have the same design aesthetic. We always joke internally on our team that, you know, half of our job is like just marital counseling therapy, not because people get mad, but it's more just like, let's like tie in both people's, you know, aesthetics and all of this. And so, so you're not unique. You are the norm, but it is tricky sometimes.
Yeah, I've told Tammy several times about me going to dinner with the girls, and I came home in this room. If you follow me on Facebook, I posted pictures of before, and I'm about ready to post the after. We put in new hardwood floors. We painted. We really kind of, for us, went outside the box as far as the color that we chose. And then I come home from dinner, and I have a 12-foot anaconda skin on my wall. And I'm still trying to figure out why.
I don't know. You told me that story, and I just died. I'm like, what would I do if that was my house? And I walked in, and there was a 12-foot snake. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I have been joking with Angel at the firehouse. Her husband is working on a frame for it. I'm like, you know what? If we're going to do it, we're going to frame it. We're going to try and make it look
like it's not going to crawl off the wall right onto you.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like what woman comes home and says, yay, I have a 12-foot anaconda on my wall.
Yeah, right. That. Now, he hunted that, found it somewhere. There's some story, right?
He got it in Africa the year before we started dating, and brought it home. He's so proud of it. I mean, he really likes the thing.
Obviously, he really likes it.
And he brought home these plaque type things, and somebody told us that those were fertility gods, and we're like, okay, those puppies are going out of our house. They cannot stay. So we got rid of them, but we still have the snake. And so this room is really based around travel, because every time we travel, I take pictures and I mat them and frame them. And he was like, well, this fits with travel. I got it in Africa. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. I didn't know you then.
You're like different versions of travel. I was wanting a pretty sunset picture, and you brought home a snake.
Yeah. We're talking different lifetimes. I didn't know you then. So there,
great.
I could see how therapy would need to come into this, like marital counseling, which honestly, real estate is very much the same way, because, it's a process, it's a change, and
figuring out priorities for each person, and
I have actually brought a white flag before to meetings because I knew I was going to need it. Just so you should know by now, I'm kind of ornery. So if you're ornery at all, I will actually play along with that. So, so I have waved the flag before, and I'm like, okay, back to your corners.
Yeah. Right. Oh, that's funny. I can imagine. Well, they're big purchases, whether you're buying a house or remodeling a house. They're just big purchases, and
it takes
you
a
want
lot
them all
of thought.
to be happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it does. It totally does.
And it's stressful. I don't care who you are. It is stressful. For us, I think people think, oh, well, you're not as interested or whatever. I've heard that about different agents, and I'm thinking, well, no. If you do a lot of it, you just know what you're expecting. And, if you overreact, then the whole thing's just going to come crumbling. So you kind of have to be that steady. And it's not that you're not fully invested. You're trying to keep the train on the tracks.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, I bet that's very valuable in what you do.
So one of the topics that I really would love to get your feedback on is the difference between hiring a general contractor and subbing for yourself.
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. So there can be good times to do both, truly. I mean, there are projects that are home projects out there, such as getting, your house repainted on the interior, or some things like that you may just, need a little bit of design help, finding some colors that you like that go with your scheme. But that might be something that either you can self-perform or you can kind of sub out yourself. And those are really, really great. We are, we're a licensed general contracting company, and, we're design-based. And so we do manage a majority of our projects. And so, a lot of times people, I just tell homeowners, sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And so knowing the questions to ask and knowing how to check the work that's been done to make sure that it's quality and you're not going to run into issues down the road are things that you probably want to involve a general contractor, such as ourselves, in those more major projects. We've come into projects where homeowners started and just felt, overwhelmed, or in some situations, unfortunately, they've paid subs that haven't shown up to do the work, or the work has been done incorrectly and it's causing damage to the house. And so we've, shown up several times into some situations like that as well, and, cleaned that up. But that is the benefit that homeowners get when they do choose to hire a general contractor that's going to manage the whole project from start to finish, because you're working then with one person, one company, and they're guaranteeing the work of everything. And so you have that assurance, they're going to be licensed, they're going to be insured, they're going to be bonded, they probably have a lot of referrals behind them. And so some of those risk factors of a project going south aren't there when you're working with a general contractor the way that they may be if you're choosing to sub out the work yourself.
I've heard very similar stories where they've paid a contractor and either they did a really bad job or they paid them up front and they either didn't show up or they showed up and they did a little bit, but then they just took the money and ran. Inside of Shawnee County, obviously, these builders most of them are with the Topeka Home Builders Association, and that is someplace you really should call and vet your builder with and your general contractors.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and recently, Shawnee County had passed, I would say within the last year or two, rules that would govern outside of Shawnee County, or, in the county. But there are other counties that they don't regulate. So it is so important because you just never know. And if a company goes bankrupt, well, now guess what? They don't care about you. They went bankrupt.
Right.
So always, I would say, if you know what you're doing, you know what you're asking for, certificates of insurance, call, verify that it's actually for real. This is with every trade that somebody could get hurt in. And I know Troy and I have talked about it on the radio show, too. There are tree services out there that do not have the right insurances. They work their employees as 1099 contractors, and those guys they're not insured. They're just trying to make a check. Not all, but a lot.
Yeah.
Somebody gets hurt on your property, you are the homeowner. That's your problem now. So
yeah. Well, there's the saying in the business world of, you can choose, there's three things. You get quality, timeliness, or price. And you can get two of those, but you can't get three. So you may, you just need to know what your priorities are as the homeowner. And that's something that, having a general contractor, as you're alluding to, they carry that liability insurance for anyone working on your project. So you're not responsible for that. The general contractor is responsible if someone gets hurt on your property. And those are big deals for, a homeowner, or if something unfortunate would happen. And, we as a company take all of those things very seriously and make sure that, we're protecting our homeowners.
Right. So if you're going to take it on for yourself, call the Home Builders Association, ask questions, make sure you've got a list, and follow that list and cover yourself. Otherwise, hire a general contractor.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes, I always say if there's an outlier to a bid, if you've bid something the same thing, I don't know, an exterior paint job with 4 painters, and one of them is just a ton below market price, there may be a reason. And so, knowing that going in, it's helpful to know.
Absolutely. And if you're a personality that is just really adverse to having confrontations, you probably should have a general contractor in place, because sometimes it's hard to speak up for yourself. And if you're not in a real estate transaction, that's what they're there for. They advocate for you. So.
Yeah. I love that word, advocate. We talk a lot about that with our team, our internal team, and just how our number one job is to advocate for the homeowners. So, if something's done incorrectly, tile is installed and you don't like, how the grout came out, it's messy or something, it's not on the homeowner's shoulders to make that call to the tile guy and say, this needs to be fixed. You just bring it to us, and then we manage all of that. And so you're right, especially for those people who don't like confrontation, or, maybe just don't have the time and capacity to be doing managing all of those details. We do advocate for our clients a lot. And on that note of advocating, one of the other things is, I'm sure everyone's been in these situations where they're trying to get someone to show up to do some work on their house, and they're, not getting a call back. Maybe they've already agreed to an estimate or a number, but now, that start date's come and gone, and the contractor still hasn't shown up to do the work, and they keep calling and all of that. Or maybe they're having a hard time even getting an estimate. That's another huge benefit of working with a general contractor is, we have really long-term relationships with all of the subcontractors that we work with. And so, they're going to pick up a phone call from me. So if I am calling on your behalf because we need to get a plumber out there ASAP because something broke, my plumber is going to answer my phone call, and he's going to prioritize that project because we work with them on a daily basis. And that's something that you as an individual homeowner wouldn't get in most situations, just because you don't have that long-term relationship with the subcontractors. And so that's a huge benefit because, if we need to adjust a schedule on the fly to accommodate something, we have a lot more flexibility, and our subs, because we work with them, so often, are really willing to accommodate us as the general contractor in a way that they couldn't do for homeowners.
And it's the same way for us whenever we're working with people, and we're loyal to the contractors that we use because we know that in a pinch, they know we're not going to call unless we absolutely need them. And we hardly ever have to say, okay, can you bump us to the front because something's wrong here. And they do because we've got such a good working relationship.
Yep.
So, definitely.
And I mean, as a general contractor, our sub network and the people that we work with, I mean, they're vital to our business. We appreciate, they're a huge part of our company because we know how valuable they are and, how hard they work for us on our projects. And, they know the excellence that we have committed to our homeowners, and they deliver on that. And so I know that they're going to show up and do their very best work for our projects, and that's invaluable to us.
Absolutely. And if you're like me, they know that if they don't, they're going to be getting a phone call and then they get to go fix it. So, okay, so we're going to take a quick break from a word from our sponsors. Hard to believe we're already halfway through the show. We'll be right back. We've got a whole bunch of other topics that we're going to be talking about that I think you guys are going to be really interested in. So join us again here in just a few.
When someone has a passion for what they do, it comes through in the product they provide their customers. Just ask LaRocco's Pizza's new owner, Jason Johnson, about their crust. They make it every day and let it rise for a minimum of 24 hours before they use it for their pizza. And his staff doesn't want to do anything they won't be the best at, and you can taste it in their pizza. LaRocco's Pizza, just a half block north of the I-470 and Gage Boulevard exit. Come taste the difference.
At SportsMomsUnited.com, we celebrate every athlete and support every sports mom. SportsMomsUnited.com is on a mission to put logic back in youth sports. When you ask young athletes why they play sports, their number one answer is fun. For them, that means being on a team, making new friends, having a good time, all of which are awesome memories. We add to the memories by featuring an athlete of the day and sharing their story. Nominate an athlete today at www.sportsmomsunited.com.
It's the season for brand new mulch, and Brown's Tree Service has got your yard covered. Brown's Tree Service utilizes hardwood mulch that retains more moisture. Not only does mulch make your yard more appealing, it also reduces weeds, improves soil, and creates insulation for plants. Get the right mulch for your job at Brown's Tree Service. They shred it, haul it, and spread it in bulk. Or you can haul it yourself for the personal touch to your property. Call Brown's Tree Service at 785-379-9212 or visit online at brownstreeservicelc.com.
Thanks for joining us again. This is Carrie Brown, Associate Broker with eXp Realty and the Preferred Advisors team, and you're listening to Real Estate 101, and I am back with Tammy Theissen with Theissen Design Co. So before the break, we were talking about general contractors subbing things out. Let's talk about do-it-yourself issues.
Oh, yes. I'm actually amazed and impressed, by a good DIYer. I mean, there's amazing YouTube videos out there and, Pinterest and all of that really, give people a leg up on if they're willing to take on a challenge of some of these things. Let's not have people taking out structural walls, but there are some DIY projects that are really fun for homeowners to do.
Absolutely. And around our house, I always joke we have to do it twice to do it right. So we have.
I love that.
We've done a bathroom twice, and once might have involved somebody sticking a floor through the garage ceiling. But,
oh no!
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah, because when you go to the hardware store, you need to know the questions to ask, and then you need to actually ask them.
Yeah, vital part of that.
Yeah, something about there is a specific type of underlayment that you should use whenever you're laying tile. Well, guess what we didn't do? So the second time, don't worry, we did it right. Floor has held up.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, but you sound like you can laugh at it now. I'm sure that was a little frustrating at the time.
It was a couple of years ago. We've moved past it now. Now it's just a funny story.
You're right, though. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and so that can lead to apparently stepping through a floor into a garage ceiling.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's only more interesting if you just got out of the shower and all you have is a towel. So.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Our poor teenage sons, they don't need therapy yet that we know of. So it's all good.
I'm sure that's going to be the story that is told every holiday for like decades, just because I imagine it's really funny.
Yeah, mostly. I know, like, just in doing real estate in general, we do see a lot of DIY issues, you know, like things like the washing machine pumping out into the front garden. You know,
yeah,
the random showers just in the middle of the basement for no apparent reason. Toilets sitting in the basement that don't appear to be hooked up to anything. You know, things like that.
I think we also often see the DIYer that just, you know, ran out of gas or, you know, just couldn't finish it. So, yes, maybe those showers that are in the middle of the basement. It's like they probably had a great idea but never got it all the way done.
I always joke about duct tape and what duct tape should really be used for. And and then there's always that back, you know, when there were and I guess they're still around, but I'm through the teenage daughter phase or the preteen where they made things with it. But the colorful duct tape is even better.
Oh, yes.
You know,
my goodness.
When you're using it on electrical stuff. So,
oh, no.
Yeah.
I feel like my team might cringe.
You know, it's just, you don't know what you don't know. And sometimes you may just have the budget for duct tape. So we've seen all kinds of stuff, and honestly, we don't pick on you at the time. We just say, okay, well, that's going to need to be fixed, and kind of roll with it.
Yes. Yes. I've mentioned before, you know, so Daniel Carlson is my brother who runs the construction side, and he always looks at me because, you know, a lot of what we do for projects is homeowners don't know what they want done typically when we come into the picture. And so, you know, we do a lot of brainstorming, we do space planning, all of these things. And so I'll bring Daniel in to the house pretty early on so I can get, you know, his construction eye on everything and make sure all the plans I'm dreaming up can be executed. And sometimes I'll say something and I'm like, can we, you know, like just do this? And he has this look that he gives me that means, Tammy, no. Like, no, you know? And so, he's got this real specific look. And so his, like, passion is, like, real custom things. So, you know, he spends a lot of time, like, building, like, unique custom features for our homeowners. And so there was the other day, and I was asking him if he could do something kind of just real quick for someone. And he's like, I have one standard, and it's like a 10-plus standard. I'm not going to do anything that way. And I'm like, I get it. So he's the complete opposite of DIY. He has no in-between button on quality level. So
absolutely.
Which mostly serves us well.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you were talking about how you come in for design. You don't have to, you guys actually do just like the design so that they can have an idea of what it is they want. If they want to, you know, if it's not taking structural walls out.
Yep. So we do design-only projects, too. So, like I said, we're, you know, a design-driven general contracting company. So we have a design department, and we have homeowners that just hire us, our design department, to go ahead and build out the design. And that involves, you know, if there's a homeowner who is really, really talented in, you know, tiling a bathroom or getting a kitchen going or something, we would come in and, again, do that space planning. Because, I don't know, more often than not, I feel like space is underutilized in most houses we walk into. So we can either get more storage for them in a kitchen, or we can lay out the bathroom better so it doesn't feel as tight or things like that. So space planning is a really, really important part of the process that we always look at first. And then, from there, it's all the selection. So we will design, a kitchen or a bathroom and make all the selections for a homeowner, and then they can go ahead and execute that on their own as well. So that's a feature or a package that we offer as well if you don't, need our full service for the contracting side as well.
Which is really, I think that's awesome. And it would have kept a snake out of my living room. So.
Yeah. Yes, so true.
Or we both would have just been at dinner and we would have come back and it would have been done anyway. So that seems to be what he does.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's fun. We love working, with clients on their own projects, and they're all fun.
So let's talk about living in a remodel.
Yes. Yeah. That's a question I get asked a lot. What are we going to do while our kitchen is out of commission? That's pretty much the big one because, most people, if we're redoing their master bathroom or even their master suite, they have other bathrooms in the house, and it doesn't feel like as huge of a disruption to a family if we're doing like a master bath or another bath. But when you get into the kitchen area, that is the heart of the home. And it's tricky to be without your kitchen for a little bit. But I would say, 90%, if not more, of our homeowners stay in their house while we do the remodel. And so we've learned really well how to work on homes while homeowners are there. And the couple of things that we talk about with the homeowner is, one, we do a lot of work taping off the areas that are under construction so that the areas that aren't can stay as mess-free as possible. Obviously, homes have, heating and cooling systems, and so dust travels, especially really fine sheetrock dust. But we, as a company, have invested in a really high-powered it's almost like a vacuum that we can run during anything that's creating dust and debris, and it's like zero gravity, so it'll suck that into it itself. And, we invested in that probably 2 years ago, and it has been night and day difference on our job site. We really know that even if a job site's under construction, that's someone's home, and so we take it very seriously, keeping that clean every night, so that, if they have kids, they can walk through the job site without risking stepping on a nail or something. Not that I advise that, but we know that these are homes and that they're still lived in. And so it's a top priority for us to keep it clean at all times. And that does a lot for the homeowners because, living in a mess is tricky. Other than that, it's a good opportunity. If you're doing a remodel during nicer weather, I think a lot of people just grill out and do a lot of crock pot meals. And a lot of them, kind of the feedback I end up getting is like, it was kind of a nice couple months off of cooking. It alleviated that stress. They weren't going to be like cooking major meals for their family every night. And so they kind of lived stress-free with some paper plates and an easy grilled dinner and called it good.
Kind of makes you wonder if the maker of the Instapot was going through a kitchen remodel.
Right? And they needed their chicken breast done in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 minutes or something. Yes, you're exactly right. No, it's true.
All right. We are already out of time. So if they are wanting to get a design done or talk about new construction or a remodel, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so if they want to email me, my email address is Tammy, Tammy, at tdesigncompany, all spelled out, .com. Or they can give me a ring at 785-220-8707. And we are really active on Facebook and Instagram, so find us at Theissen Design Co. And you can watch our live, projects in the stories or see our really pretty finished projects. in the post.
And if you're looking to buy or sell, be sure and give us a call at 785-213-5188. And if you want to check out Northeast Kansas listings and soon to be Ohio, be sure and check out our website at preferredadvisorsteam.com. You can actually go in, set up your own profile, and set up your own searches and save. And if you don't want anybody harassing you, just say, hey, I'm just looking. So be sure and check that out. And thanks for listening to Real Estate 101.
Thank you for listening to Real Estate 101 with the Carrie Brown team from Preferred Advisors.